Hey friends, today we'll be talking about love, romance, relationship, which is very, very important for almost anybody. Now, whenever a person goes to an astrologer, one of the most important question in his or her mind is about whether he or she will get into a love marriage or arranged marriage. When will he fall in love? What kind of a relationship will it be? How good he will be or she will be in dealing relationship? uh, what kind of love will he be having, and so on. So those are the kind of questions which are very common, right? For anybody to seek, the answers for those questions whenever he meets or she meets an astrologer. Now, I have already made a couple of videos few months ago uh, about marriage, the combination for happy married life and the combination for difficult married life. So I have already made that video. I'll be sharing the link here, and you can click to you know to these two link, and you can watch those videos. Now, coming back to love, let's talk about love, let's talk about relationship in this video. Now, two very, very important house when you're looking into love or relationship is the fifth house and the seventh house. The fifth house, why? Because fifth house is about love, is about creativity, is about romance. So it's a beautiful house. And similarly, seventh house is about relationship. Hence, if you want to know whether you will fall in love, whether your marriage will be a love marriage or arranged marriage, these two houses will play a very, very important role. And the first house and the ninth house will also play important role as well. First house, because first house is you, right? So will you fall in love? How will be your relationship? So first house becomes very important. Ninth house is not very important, but still you need to see ninth house, because ninth house will be seen more from a married life point of view, and not that much from a love point of view. Now, coming to planets, the most important planet when you talk about love and relationship is Venus. And it becomes extremely important for a male's chart, because Venus is the spouse in a male's chart, or is the female in the male's chart. So Venus becomes an extremely important planet when you're looking into love, both for a male and female chart. But it is slightly more important for the male than female. But do not get confused. Venus is the most important, irrespective of the gender. It is the most important planet as far as relationship is concerned. The next important planet is Mars, because Mars is about passion. Mars is about that spice in your life, right? The Venus is about love. Venus is about romance. Venus is about your spouse in a male's chart, whereas Mars is about the passion. So when there is a combination of Mars and Venus, that can clearly indicates love marriage. The third important planet is Rahu. Now, Rahu is not very important from a love per se, but Rahu is important because Rahu is about breaking the barriers. Rahu is about doing something which is not orthodox, doing something out of what you're doing. So, inter-caste marriage, internationality marriage, marrying a person who stays away from you is where Rahu comes into the picture. So let's look into all those combinations. Now, what is important is that you need to first see where is your first house lord or your ascendant doing. If your ascendant is well placed and your ascendant has got some relationship with fifth or seventh, and particularly with the fifth house, then that means that there's a possibility of love marriage. And if it is well placed, then that love, that relationship will remain strong, right? Falling in love is a different thing, and building that relationship or improving on that, or having a long lasting relationship or having a long lasting love affair, which then gets converted into a marriage and a good married life, are two very different things. Your chart may show combinations of you falling in love, but it may not be, uh, a long-lasting relationship. So you need to see both those things. So first house lord plays a very, very important role, which can let you know how good your love life will be, how well your love life will be. Will you be successful in building relationship? So first house is important. Now fifth house is the most important house, as I said, because fifth house is about love and romance. Seventh house is about relationship. So if there's a combination of fifth and seventh house, that can indicate love, that can indicate relationship. And then if it has good aspect, if it is well placed, if those planets are well placed, if they're exchanging so if fifth house is in seventh, fifth lord is in seventh house, and seventh lord is in fifth house, then that can clearly means a love marriage. If there is a combination of fifth house and fifth house lord and seventh house lord aspecting or conjunct, more importantly if they are conjunct, then that can means love, strong love affairs. Now, if it is well placed, then the relationship is strong, the relationship is good, the love is beautiful. If it is not well placed, then there can be multiple relationship, there can be difficulties after some time in your love relationship, and in your love affairs and so on. Now, you also need to see the natural significator, that is Venus. You also need to see where is Mars placed. Now, if there's a because I have seen in most charts where a person has gone into a love marriage or his marriage has been love marriage is when there is a conjunct between Mars and Venus. That's a very, very strong combination. Whatever house it is, that's okay. But if there is a combination of Mars and Venus, I definitely see in a male's chart particularly, I definitely see that person having a love marriage. It is also kind of similar in a female's chart as well. But in a female's chart, Jupiter also plays a significant role because Jupiter is about your husband, right? So if there is a combination of Venus and Jupiter in a female's chart, that can also mean love marriage. Now, you need to see this in D1 chart. You also need to see this in D9 chart. I have not done a video on D9 chart, and I'll do a full video on D9 chart as well. But those who know what a D9 chart is, the division of the ninth house, like I did last time, the D10 chart. Similarly, the division of ninth house, D10 is the division of 10th house. Similarly, the division of ninth house is the D9 chart. And you need to see these combinations in D9 as well. So if it is strong in D1, it is strong in D9, that means it's, you will have a very, very good love affair or a love life, or your love marriage will be pretty strong. Now if it is not, and if there is not much of an indication there, then there's a possibility that you may get into arranged marriage. I'm not saying whether love marriage is good or arranged marriage is good. That's a different topic. That's a different debate altogether. But what I'm saying is there can be combinations which tells you whether you fall in love or not, whether you will get married through love or not, whether it will be a love marriage or not, or whether it will be arranged marriage. Those combinations will tell you. If your charts do not show love in both D1 and D9, if you do not see love, that doesn't mean you will not get into relationship. That doesn't mean you will not get married. You may get married through arranged marriage. So those are possibilities, right? So whether you'll get married or not depends on very, very specifically on seventh house. But what kind of marriage you will have depends on all these combinations. To your Venus, your Mars, your fifth house, your seventh house, your first house. Now let's come to another planet, which is Rahu. Now Rahu, as I said, is about breaking the barriers, right? So it is about foreign land. It is about doing something which is not orthodox. Hence, Rahu, if Rahu is conjunct with Venus, or Rahu is conjunct with the fifth lord, or fifth lord and seventh lord are aspected by Rahu, and there is a Mars connection to that, then there is a possibility of you getting married to somebody who's outside your religion, or somebody who's outside your caste, inter-caste marriages, or you may get married to a foreigner. So those things are possible if Rahu has a connection with, more importantly, with the fifth house lord or Venus. Then there is a very, very strong connection. Even with seventh, even with seventh house or the seventh lord, you can see that combination. Now, as I said before, whether your love marriage will be strong or not, what kind of combination will tell you if your love marriage will be a happy marriage or a difficult marriage. For that, you need to see the other two videos. I will share the link with you. Do watch those videos. If you have any questions, please mention in the comment box and I will try and answer those questions. If you like my video, kindly subscribe to my channel. Please share my video. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.